We are joined by attorney Jeff O'Brien for our weekly 3 and Out, 3 stories, usually sports stories. But today we're going to call it 3 and Out and then some. And we're going to start out with the halftime show. Now, you did not watch either Bad Bunny or that TPUSA thing, which they're claiming 25 million different devices viewed it, which would mean, like my family, we had like 10 people over with family and some friends, and more than that, actually. So that the numbers could be over 100 million if you had at least 4 people watching at each one, and I'm sure it was more. So they put a major dent in Bad Bunny. I watched Bad Bunny because I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. And I, other than La Bamba by Richie Valens and Ave Maria by just about any great singer, I don't like songs that aren't in America, that aren't in English. Mm-hmm. And most of his singing was not in English. And also the grabbing his crotch a bunch in the beginning and having 2 guys grinding into each other behind the door of a truck. I mean, I don't consider that family viewing when a lot of kids are watching. And meantime, afterward, Amy Klobuchar among them, just about every liberal on social media calling it the best Super Bowl ever or great halftime show. Based on what? I mean, I tell you, they put a lot into it because they had a bunch of plants that looked like, palm fronds or something from, I guess it would have been Puerto Rico. But then they had, it took a long time to set up and tear down. So a lot went into that. But I don't know. It just wasn't my kind. And I know people will probably, you don't get it and it's different. How about entertaining the people that are watching and not just one? They really went over the top to try to coddle the left or kowtow to the left. And I think they have, I don't know if half their viewers are left or right. I know it's a major mix and they've got people from both sides. So I didn't see what other people saw in it being such a great halftime show. And I really was, bothered by the grinding.
I was watching the game. I was watching the game at my dad's. We had I think he put the TV on mute during the halftime. So, and he doesn't do streaming, so we didn't have the alternative show on or anything. But to anybody commenting, particularly if the Democrat candidate for governor of Minnesota suggested that this was the best halftime show ever, in light of
she didn't use those words. She said great. Okay, I think great good, halftime show.
Good, because the greatest halftime show ever. You will never top Prince. He played Purple Rain in the rain.
Well, that's pretty impressive, right?
You'll never top it.
Yeah.
And maybe the second was probably Michael Jackson. You're never going to top those two. So just stop saying best halftime show ever.
Grabbed himself, and I wasn't crazy about that. Because, again, kids are watching. Yeah, that's why what bothers me about it. And the fact that people had no problem with that, I guess I have a problem with them having no problem with it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But, all right, anyway, let's talk a little Olympics. There's stuff going on. There's stuff going on everywhere. Oh, by the way, Did you happen, you were after or were John Schneider, who's a St. Thomas alumni, right? The GM of the Seahawks?
Mm-hmm.
So
what I forget what, I think he was after me. I'm trying to think of what, I don't know what year. I was 97, so I think he was.
I think he was in the 80s.
Okay, then he would be before me then.
Okay. Oh, by the way, here, Amy Klobuchar, Bad Bunny quote: "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." Then she wrote, "That was one joyous halftime show."
Yeah.
How would we know?
Yeah. Oh, John Schneider, class of '93, so he graduated just before I arrived there.
Okay. All right.
So, and we had a Johnny with Seattle ties too. Jim Kirshner, class of 2000.
Look at and
Tommy and a Johnny.
And Leslie Frazier, assistant head coach, who helped really get with that defense.
And of course,
and the quarterback.
Vikings quarterback last year.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Hey, how bad was the injury to Lindsey Vonn? It was a broken left leg.
Yeah,
but that bad. Knee had to be even. I mean,
I don't understand that. So, I mean, we know from the football world, Bob, you get a torn ACL, you're done.
I have no idea how she was able to. I mean, she had a practice run.
It was in a brace. She had a knee brace or something, but somehow she thought she could do it, but she lost control like just a little shortly into the race.
13 seconds in.
Yeah, and she had to get airlifted off the course, and she's got a broken leg. So, I think I know why she went forward with it with a ruptured ACL because she's 41. I think this is her last.
Well, you know what though?
Olympics.
I mean, somebody should have been able. No one could get through to her. I mean, I'm. I don't know if I'm torn because I do think it's one of the most courageous things I've ever seen, but maybe one of the dumbest things too in terms of long-term health. I don't think it's to the point where it's not going to lose her leg. I hope, but I mean, she could have done incredible damage to it.
Yeah,
much worse than the torn ACL. But again, it's gritty. I mean, it's going to be, to me, one of the stories when the Olympics are done, they're going to be looking back on her. So it is courageous and it is grit, but I don't know. I mean, in retrospect, had she finished, I wouldn't be saying it, but after the injury, yeah, that was not maybe the wisest thing, and no one could talk her out of it because no one could say, no, you can't go, you're hurt. So anyway, that was all right. And then we got all those. I don't know how many there are, half a dozen, if that, Olympians saying, "Oh, I don't want to." They're torn about representing the country. Then don't represent the country. Don't go.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, there was some. First, it was some freestyle skiers that said just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. And I know that. I think it was Mike Eruzione, of course, from the Miracle on Ice team, said then don't be there. If you can't represent your country, and first of all, a couple things. Shame on the press who have to ask the questions, right? They're there. They're there to be athletes, and compete. You don't need to be answering political questions, and they didn't always do this. You weren't back in nobody in the 80s. Nobody was asking the Olympians about Ronald Reagan's defense buildup or anything. I mean, stuff like that, right? They didn't do that, and now they have to always interject politics into everything.
Yep.
But on the same token, and maybe this is part of the Team USA, the marketing and media PR people, they should have anticipated this and coached people, the team up to say, I'm just here to compete, on behalf of my country. I'm not going to say anything.
Hey, what though? Here's how I look at it. I never heard of these people before, and I'm not.
I haven't heard of any of the Olympians other than Lindsey Vonn and the hockey team.
Yes, but if you're going to tell, if I couldn't tell you their names now, the chuckleheads who were saying these things, I'd have to look it up again. So they're a minor part of it, but they have no business doing what they did. Then don't go. So, yeah. And I tell you, I'm openly rooting against them. I hope they don't win. I hope they don't get a medal.
Yeah.
So there's other members of the U.S. team who didn't bark out like that. So, right. And by the way, the Lindsey Vonn thing, an American won the gold in the downhill, but it's sort of a footnote because so much was on her. All right, what's the next item?
Next item we have the other Olympics theme. This actually jumps away from the U.S. Israel, do you know, Bob, has a bobsled team in the Winter Olympics this year?
Well, I mean, do they have mountains to practice on? It's not like the Jamaican bobsled team. I mean,
well, that's funny because they're, remember how it was Cool Runnings was the movie about the Jamaican bobsled team? They're calling their team Shul Runnings.
Okay, that's pretty good.
But apparently, one of the guys, it's the first Orthodox Jew to compete in the Winter Olympics ever.
Really?
Yeah.
So he can't compete on the Sabbath. What happens then?
I don't know. Maybe they'll make accommodations. I don't know, but yeah. So Israel has it. Your feel good story of the Olympics this time. Remember, then it was. Everybody wanted the Jamaican bobsled team to win. Hopefully, the Israel team does better because remember the Jamaican bobsled team rolled the sled or something.
Yeah, no, you want to. Now I got somebody to pull for now. All right, that's good. And now the other thing I wanted to make sure that we mention. Well, there's a lot going on. You had mentioned that. Get this in about North Dakota State.
Yeah, this was breaking news late last. It broke over the weekend and it started to pick up steam. But you've got ESPN and all the other sports news outlets reporting it now. North Dakota State is going to join the Mountain West Conference. It sounds like for football only, they're paying $17 million, $12 million to join the conference, and $5 million to the NCAA to move up to the FBS. So I was reading about this more, Bob. A number of the Mountain West teams have relocated to the new reborn Pac-12 conference.
Okay. So they need to replenish.
That joined the Big Ten, right? So they recruited NDSU, who has been, of course, dominant in the FCS division.
Well, I'll tell you what, SDSU is happy about that. South Dakota State and these other teams that they've battled North Dakota State all these years. So that's
well, I will say this. One thing is, NDSU will, we'll see how quickly they catch on in the FBS, but I'm sure we'll see NDSU and the Gophers in the Rate Bowl someday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Except NDSU will be in a higher bowl. They would never play in those cut rate ones. Those, that the Gophers get.
But here's the other question. I don't know that they're necessarily ready for it yet. But I've always said that I think St. Thomas's ultimate goal was to end up in the Missouri Valley Conference, which is where NDSU has been, right?
Yeah.
So the question is,
can they move into it?
Is Missouri Valley going to try to backfill the spot and bring in, another team from that region, such as St. Thomas?
That's why you wanted to talk about it, to get the Tommies in the conversation. All right.
Well, I just think it's going to be interesting. I think it's a major shakeup. I mean, this is NDSU has been, being someone who's, because they've got my alma mater is in FCS. That team NDSU has been dominant for years.
No question.
This is like the first time in a long time that they didn't win the national championship in that division. So,
well, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Jeff, as always,
absolutely.
Greatly appreciate it. Jeff O'Brien, Attorney Jeff O'Brien, take a quick break. The BS Show will be right back.